Alright, there's been some interest. Close to being finished. I posted quite a bit and had some questions about when it's going to be out, so I figured until I get it out, I'll just make a quick walk around video to show it. I chose this model because I wanted something that would fit in the build area, and I pretty much only do one-to-one scale stuff, so I didn't want to have to try to scale something down. So this model here is 50 something meters long, so that will fit the build area. As you notice, it's rocking side to side. It still has the pivots glitch in there to try to maintain buoyancy. I might try using Thales lighter blocks to get some more buoyancy in there, so I don't have the rocking side to side. Once you get moving, it's not a problem, but I'd like to get that addressed. The real Ta800, I think it holds something like 743,000 liters of oil. This and it holds I think like 435,000 liters of water. This one will hold about equal, so it's about 430 something liters of water and 430 something liters of oil. Of course, you have to empty your water ballast before you put all that oil in there. But pretty close to, all the dimensions are pretty much on the spot for 1 to 1. There's not too much left to be done. I'm really happy with how all the equipment on the deck turned out. That looks pretty much identical to the real Damen. I even blew up some photographs and did pixel counts trying to get all these pump motors in the right spot. We'll just jump on the ship here. So every pipe on this, every one of these pump housings are all functional. Of course, there's some decorative blocks here, which is actually pretty close to how they look. The pumps are actually in these pump housings, and all of these valves and pipes are actually connected and work. I would love to put a actual working skiff on here, but just size constraints and without doing some sort of cheating around to try to get the boat to actually be buoyant, there was no way to make this boat work. This crane is for the skiff, but it's non-functional because the skiff's non-functional. I'll just quickly go up to the bow. Let me turn. I don't think I needed infinite electricity on, but maybe I do. I think these are just not connected, so these will rotate into place. And as you can see, they're not actually connected to anything. The two anchor winches. They're simulated up top, so it looks like that's what's controlling it. But if you actually go under here, you'll notice that there are some hidden winches in here. That way, the chains, quote unquote chains, the cables are not going through the hull as much. Underneath, we have a bow thruster, which is good for maneuvering. I changed the paint scheme a little bit. It had more of like a bluish, a light blue. I like this kind of steel blue a little bit better, so I put that on there. So like I said, all these pump housings and pipes are functional. Pipes. This grating, of course, isn't functional. So this is one of your control consoles for filling. I like the analog look here, so that's why I went with the analog look. With buttons and whatnot. All of these tanks are your oil tanks, and so in the real ship and as in this, you have 8 oil tanks. They need to be indexed for the values. That's why they're midway and showing 0. But you would turn on the associated pump for that tank, and you would either go in or out. So if you were just loading everything, it would essentially look like this, and then the other way would be out. So there's 2 places you can control the pumping from. So if you toggle that on, that will use this console. And then there's also a console in the bridge, so if you want to sit in the bridge, you can also control it. It takes literally hours to fill this. You're talking 435,000 liters, so you definitely want to get out to the oil platform, and you want to you can leave it there. Like if I'm gonna go somewhere, I'll go hook it up and do that. I love these tankers because they're money makers for my career saves, so I'll just go send this out to an oil platform. I'll connect it up, and then I'll let it fill, and I'll go do something else. When I come back, it'll be full, and then I put it on autopilot, send it over. So there are three hose connectors there, as with the new filling stations, so that it helps to expedite the filling process. So nice no smoking sign there. This bridge is pretty accurate to the real ship. We'll go on in. So this isn't 100% done in here, but so this is again one-to-one of the real living quarters. So if we go to our first door to our right here, we have our kitchen, our galley. I would love it if they would fix it so that we could paint the interior and exterior of the windows different colors. Have our table. We have all of our kitchenette going out. So this ship is designed for a crew of 3, and so these staterooms are all where they'd really be. This bathroom is not completed. This will be a bathroom in here. There's a bathroom shower. Then we have the last 2 staterooms at the end here. So this is actually where they are IRL. Go ahead and head out of here. Again, I would love it if we could paint the 2 sides of the doors a different color. Next thing we'll do is we'll go down the engine room. So the only real difference to the real ship is the door is on this side and the staircase goes the other way. So I just have it on the port side. Alright, so we'll go on down. So to start this ship, I wanted to make it as realistic as possible. So you actually have to come down here into the engine room to get started, as you would in real life. So pretty much everything in here is in place where it would be. I don't know if this platform was here, so right first here we have our generator. So this is a modular 8-cylinder, it's a flat 8 generator. So this will automatically turn on and off as our power needs dictate, and this provides all the power. The 2 main propulsion engines do not provide any power. Still have some microcontrols hanging around. So here we have our tool chest, tools, ropes, cables, all sorts of associated stuff. Work table. I still need to tweak the light in here, as you see. Light is a little funky. So this is our main operating panel. So here are all of our buses. You can see they're all on by default. Again, all these pipes are all really connected. Again, I'd like the devs to make it so we can paint both sides of a fluid port. Here are all your breakers. These breakers are all really connected to stuff. So you pick a battery bank. We can do both. If you select recharge starboard or port battery, so this allows you to isolate the recharge. So if you want them to recharge, which I would recommend both of them, you could do that. You can do your key button, and then you do your master power, and so everything will come on. As you can see your battery quantities, and they're dropping. If the generator's on, you can see your RPS and temp on your engines, and that will show you your generators on. So we'll come back out here. Let's just quickly, we'll go to the other side. Other side is nothing at this moment. That will just be more potentially breakers storage. So we'll go downstairs. So here are our engines. So I kind of put a simulated grate over the prop shaft. You have our 4 medium electric batteries. You have 2 2-cylinder 3x3s here. The cooling is very efficient. I've finally, really figured out cooling and getting everything efficiently cooled. This is reasonably compact, so it's 4 5x5s per engine, keeps everything nice and cool. Real nice low RPS so that you're not burning a ton of fuel as well. So the ballast and the oil systems are all pretty accurate. I think I have 8 ballast tanks as well. So this is all the plumbing for the ballasts. As you see, everything's connected. Everything works. Go to the other side. We have all our ballast on this side as well. That's for our water ballast. We can go down either of these hallways. These flank the oil tanks, and so the water ballast is in the lowest part of the ship. So this wall here, and you'll see the same wall in the opposite hallway, that's your oil tanks, and then underneath this tank, these tanks, and underneath the floor here is your water ballast. So that's currently, I believe that's full. Let's fly down there. Yeah, so this is one of your water ballast tanks. You can see it's full. We do have a stability weight in there, which is trying to counteract all of these pivots for for our glitch, which I would love it if I could figure out a solution to get rid of that glitch. And then you have your oil tanks up in the, they're split into 8. So I think it's 1, 2, and then you have 4, 6, and 8 um, uh, crude oil tanks. So we'll go back in our main hallway here. This is the port main hallway. I think that's a fluid port. So again, I'd love it if we could paint those. Head down the end here. I haven't decided what I'm going to do in this area. This is pretty much just your bow underneath the. There's another room above, which is where all the anchor mechanisms are for the anchors. And then you have an identical hull on this side. So pretty much, very utilitarian ship. Holds large quantities of oil. It actually holds less than my oil barge, but the real ship would hold more. Alright, so now that all our power's on, we can go up to the bridge. So you have dual stacks here. We'll go on up. We have simulated life rafts, port and starboard. We have some life rings, port and starboard. We have dual doors to go into the bridge, so let's go on in. So I have infinite electricity on. I think I put that on. Let's shut that off. I just need to hardwire those. As you can see, they're still turned. I just need to hardwire those simulated anchor winches. I couldn't remember if I needed infinite on. So a little bit of paint in here. So I really like analog looking gauges. So these are all of our water ballast tanks. So as you can see, they're full. They start full. We hold a lot of water in this. Like, is it 400? So there you can hear right there, the generator is automatically kicking on because our battery went down. I believe it's probably 98%. I'm not sure where I set it to, but as you can see, all of our water ballast is automated. And we, like I was saying, we hold 430 something thousand liters of water. So these are our altitude, our altimeter, port, and starboard. So this is backwards. So if you look at this, we're facing astern, but this is all of our port stuff. So we have our 4 port tanks. We have our 4 starboard tanks. These are all in the correct position. So this is port bow. That's starboard bow. Your centers, your port and starboards, your sterns. These are, you can see our altimeters showing our current, the height above the water line. If we enter in something in the keypad, so if we put a -10, we try to go 10 meters below the water lines. So let's do -1 meter. We'll select that. Actually, we're at full capacity here, so we can't drop. So if we wanted to go a positive number, if we want to go 1 meter above the water, you notice the tanks will auto drain. So we can set our altitude where we want it. So 0 is, let me fly up. We'll look at our Pimsoil line. So we have our water line here, and then we have a Pimsoil line, which, so essentially, as you see, it has a circle with a line through it. That's where you'd want the water line. And then in real life, these little lines here would be labeled, and so for different water densities, for say different temperatures and different locations for salinity, that would be where your water line is for stability. So like if you were going in, maybe a tropical ocean or a south ocean, or maybe in the north, you'd have different lines for your water line. And then the gauge here is accurate, so 1 meter is 1 meter above the bottom of the ship. We're sitting here 3 meters. 3 meters of the ship is below water with full ballast, no oil. There's our altimeter for that. All these fluid ports above the water line, those are our outflows for pretty much all of our water systems, mostly cooling, but also for our ballast. These here are 4 for ballast. These are our 4 for cooling. They're above the water line just so that we're not fighting water pressure. A little bit, ugly when they're spitting out water, but it's not too bad. And then we have our inlets down there. While we're out here, we'll look at the underside of the ship. So we have twin screws. That's another reason why I picked this model. Is I really like a twin screw ship just because it gives you really nice maneuverability. You can easily do, rotate the ship. Twin rudders, so it gives you really nice maneuverability, especially on a ship this large. So we'll go on all the way up here. I will try to remember to link whose LiDAR this is. We have accurate navigation lights up top. Nice depreciated radar. But we have accurate navigation lights, and I'll show how I control those. We have a spot and cam right there. We can, as I said, we can hear the gen going. So let's go ahead and sit in our seat here. There are still some gauges I don't think I have completed. If we look here, I'll try to link whose screens these are, but I really like these because it has integrated LiDAR, radar, and you can integrate them on the moving map. LNAV is the multi-waypoint autopilot is working. I have one issue where it's intermittent if it goes to the next waypoint. So that's been having some issues. But let's look at the nav light here. So kind of a system setup here where different numbers represent different nav light settings. So I'm just going to put like a paintable indicator there, which says what each one is. So if you click that up one, you notice we have anchor lights. So we would have our 4 and we have our 2 anchor lights there. Go to 2, we have our I think this is regular nav lights. We have a left and right red navs there. We have our stern light, and we have our 2. I think that's the forward mast and the top of the rear mast. Let's see if I can see. Yeah, so we have, you see our stern light, our top light there, and then we have the front of our forward mast are on for that. If we click it up again, I'm not sure what this one is. I can't remember all my nav lights, but those are our 2 reds. Go there, we have our, I think this is in distress but moving, so that adds the 2 on the port starboard there. Go to 5. I forget, I can't remember what all these are IRL, but 6. So, you can just tab through. I'll eventually, like I said, I'll label them with a paintable paint block. So if we go down to 1 is our regular nav lights. So let's go through the panel here. So we have so the engines are auto throttled, and we just control the clutches on those. So here are our clutch positions. This is if we're going astern, this is if we're going forwards on either side. We'll show that in a second. We have our 0. This is pretty much what I do for all my ships, is if I click 0, that sends a 0 signal to both of the, in this case, clutches. So this way it allows you to, you can signal what you want to do. So let's actually come off the dock, and I'll show how this works. So one thing this is good for is I can set up a maneuver. So like I'm putting my port engine astern, and I would put my starboard engine forwards, and then with that, if I release the 0, the engines aren't on of course, but if I release the 0, then it would give the command. So I can set the ship up for tight maneuvering first. I can put what I want in there, and then I can release the 0 and it will do it. Here we have throttle sync. So if I click throttle sync, it will it should be clutch sync on this, but that will sync it so that the port clutch, the starboard clutch, will do whatever the port clutch does. That way, a lot of ships have syncs like that in real life, where instead of you having to control both, you can just go off the port. So I think none of these gauges are connected yet. This is my rudder angle. The rudder is sticky. A lot of, especially tugboats, have sticky rudders like this. This helps you with maneuvering just because you can leave it where you are. So like, if we're trying to get our stern closer to the dock here, we could sticky it over. I think I have to reverse which way this is going. No, actually, yeah, I do. I want it to be showing where the rudders are pointing, so this just needs to be reversed. But, you know, you would go hard, in this case, you would go hard to starboard, and then you could reverse, you know, most likely one prop would probably be better, reverse your port prop, and then it would bring our stern in closer to the dock. So that allows you to easily, again, set up before you're making your control movements. So yeah, I definitely need to reverse this rudder angle. Your speed and knots, your wind direction, your wind speed and knots. You have your thruster position for your bow thruster. Reset centers it, and so we could actually do a little bit of bow thrusting here. You know, our bow is too close to the dock. It's kind of drifted in, so let me make sure that's on. I don't think that's on at the moment. So let's go over, we have cockpit lights. We can switch them to red. We can also brighten or dim them. So I think they start at max brightness, and then we click that again, it's off, so it's white, red, off. So next thing we do is if we click our port start stop, that's going to start our port engine. I'll actually make sure our zero's on so we don't kick the props on first. These will auto restart, auto throttle. And I think they hang around the 7s or 8s, so it's nice and fuel efficient. So let me just quickly come off dock. So, you know, we can set up our starboard, or I'm sorry, our port clutches in reverse. We'll put our starboard clutches in forwards, then we'll release the 0, and we should see some. I think we're just a little bit low on clutch here. We can hear I think we can hear the engines are auto throttling back up. So again, I haven't played with this ship in a while, so you know, even I'm a little bit rusty on what my controls are, so I might not have this completely connected at the moment. Yeah, I don't think I have it connected up at the moment. I think I made some changes here. Like I said, I haven't touched this in a while, so but you know, so there's not too much to be done. This pretty much all of this section is done. Depth under keel isn't connected. That, you know, is just going to be a distance sensor right under the bottom of the keel, so that you know your depth under keel in case you need to lower to get rid of some water ballast to raise up or not. These are just going to be associated gauges. You know, I just have RPM on the side. I might put some temps in there or more buttons. Probably some lights for the for down on deck. This is, you know, as we were talking about before, how you can also control your fill and empty of your crude oil tanks. You can do that from this panel as well. So you would toggle either this button or the one down below on, and that commands which station you're going to use. So if we were connected and we wanted to fill all of our tanks, we could just go like this, and we would fill all of our crude oil tanks. So this is good for, you know, oftentimes you'll find that, you know, maybe this port tank is filling and then the ship starts tipping towards port. Well, now it's much easier for the port tanks to fill because of gravity, and so now the ship's trying to tip to the port side, so you could just dump all the ports off, and then you could try to equalize the starboard side. That way you're not you know, commanding a roll on the ship. So again, you know, not much to do in this. I think I just need to do a little bit of autopilot work. You know, obviously, as you can see, my clutches are not connected. I think I made some changes, so that needs to be fixed. I need to reverse the rudder angle. But ship works pretty well. Let's just quickly go down. So you have 2 seats in here. I think that's actually, I think I looked up, maybe those are realistic to have a couple extra seats, but you know, it's a crew of 3, so that would allow all 3 crew members to sit on the bridge. We have rope anchors, and we have some scuppers here so that you could easily connect to a dock. Just quickly run down the engine room and we'll end the video. Yep, so we have our 2 main 2x2s here. They run nice and cool. So I can't get a temp. Yep, so we have let's see, am I running fluid? So apparently, yeah, I need to work on the a bunch of stuff changed. I don't know if it was what happened with you know, some of the updates if things have changed, but you know, you can see our manifolds are 18C, so we run nice and cold on this. All right, so I appreciate the interest. People keep asking me when this is coming out. You know, as you can see, I don't have much left to do. I've just put it on the back burner, especially with weapons DLC. I've been very much in a plane mode. I pretty much only built ships for a long time, and then I've been pretty much into planes ever since. So, you know, eventually I'll get back to this. This is probably only a couple hours of work at most to get this out. So, thank you for watching.